Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ServiceNow Pilot Podcast. And today I'm going to take you on a journey of the project management journey. Today we're going to talk about the SPM, Strategic Portfolio Management. And I know this might sound mysterious. For me, it is also, but I'm willing to know about it much more. Today, I'm happy to announce that we have a special guest, Agnieszka. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hello.
Yeah, it's great. You're a ServiceNow consultant with a prior experience and expertise within SPM, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So if you could tell us your story with SPM module and what what it is actually.
SPM is
Yeah.
a strategic portfolio management, and as you know, there are two SPMs now names in ServiceNow. So one is for service portfolio management. Our is for a strategic portfolio management.
Mm-hmm.
It is more about managing of your portfolio programs, projects,
Mm-hmm.
agile approach, and so on.
Okay, so project managers are all over the world and people who are working on the big programs within the organization might see the value in this product, as I
Yeah,
assume.
that's right, and not only them, but also people who are interested with resource management and financial perspective of the projects.
Okay, that's fascinating news. And yeah, so the idea for this meeting that we have today is to simply start from the beginning, from just an idea that might occur in a employee's mind for a project for an enhancement of the to the organization, and then we're going to build the business case, take it to the project management, and see what's next. Okay, so we can start with an idea, because in ServiceNow there is an innovation management, idea management, as I remember the name correctly. But how does it work actually? To
Yeah, in a backend side, you have that called as a innovation
Yeah.
management, but normally that is idea, and idea is some kind of portal when which you can share with your users and with your end users under the organization, and you can allow them to raise the ideas
Mm-hmm.
within the organization. And that can be also not only IT ideas, but I don't know, various ideas, infrastructure, operations,
Okay.
and from a business, for example. Of course, if you manage the projects related with a business changes, so they can go to a idea as a
Mm-hmm.
portal, and they have a simple form to raise the ideas on the form.
What kind of information should I have from the beginning to issue this idea to my
I
organization?
believe only a link to the portal now,
Okay.
and there are, that depends from the organization and
Uh-huh.
how they would like to build the form, of course. But there normally out of the box you have, I believe, two or three questions or some kind of fields where you need to add information about the idea,
Mm-hmm.
which you have, of course, some kind of description, what
Yeah.
for you would like to have that change in the organization. And also, there is some form to allow you to categorize that. And categorizations that are also built dependent on the organization needs.
Okay, and what's next? For example, if I come up with a amazing idea for my organization and somehow the higher management thinks that it is okay to go with my idea with this innovation, what's happened next in the ServiceNow model?
Normally, you have a person like called as a idea manager or demand manager
Mm-hmm.
who will review all of the ideas which come from a idea portal. They normally they will investigate if that idea is sufficient for the organization, and they will decide if the idea is already raised as a ticket in the system. So they will only not even close that, but will depend that build a relationship with the existing ticket. That can be a change, that can be a already existing problem project.
Mm-hmm.
Normally they will open a new demand for it, and
Okay.
they will connect that as a demand, and they will manage the demand in
Okay.
the system.
Okay, and is it the stage where you have to build somehow a business case for your organization to differentiate between, for example, a minor change, a huge program, or just a simple project? Or
Mainly that is in the hands on a demand manager. Demand manager for sure will come back to you as an end user and as a person who proposed that idea. And demand manager will come to you and ask additional questions about the justification, business case, business value, and for example, potential risks, and also if there is any appetite from a benefit and budget perspective, right? So from time to time you can have an awesome idea, but that is the organization is not ready for it now, but maybe that can be parked in the future. So that all of that information will be stored under the demand on the form.
okay, understand. So, okay, once you have a business case built, once you have all the demands gathered from the business organization employees, then it is starting an initiation phase, as I assume. And how it looks from the ServiceNow perspective, how it looks from the platform itself.
Yeah, that is opened as a demand as a ticket, connected, of course, with that idea. So always you can come back with to an idea ticket to inform a user, of course, who writes that. But then the first investigation is done by a demand manager, also from a perspective of risks, justification, and information from the business. Because you can be a one single user, but then we will attach or maybe assign that demand to a whole portfolio or program, which is also connected with a budget perspective. Then we will send some questionnaire to a business to identify if they are okay with that proposition, if they can set the value of a risk, justification, the benefit for the organization. If you will receive all of this information from the business, then of course you can push the ticket to a proper stage of the demand.
Okay, so everything it is it's in one place from the financial. It's great that you mentioned the risks that at the very beginning, at the very minor stage, let's say, of the project life cycle, you can see the potential risk it might have on your organization.
Yeah, that's right. And that is even discussed with the business more than with the person who writes the idea, right? Because maybe for that person, that is a really nice feature to have in the organization. But from the top, you can see that in a different way. You can see that as a potential risk for the organization, or I don't know, maybe a huge value. But that is done via assessment on the business level. And when that is done, then the idea will change. The demand will change the status, and you can come to a cost per perspective.
Okay. And when we are in the development phase, on the initiation phase, let's call this just a project. When the project starts, how in what ways in the ServiceNow platform I can control the life cycle of the project, the sprints, the meetings, the milestones of the project. How does platform make me do it?
Yeah, that depends from a complexity of the demand.
Of course.
You need to remember that from one demand you can jump only to a organizational change, and you will follow the normal ITSM change management process. You can from a demand you can jump to an agile approach, and the demand will be also closed or open until all of the epics, themes, and stories will be completed. That is a one side that you can drive the whole initiative. But if you are sure from the beginning that that will influence the budget perspective, you need to know exactly who worked, who was assigned to this project, to this demand, and what are connections with the costs, expense lines, and all of the financial perspective. The best approach is to open the full project.
Okay, and why?
Because under the project you can add the you can build the resource plans, for example. Under the resource plans, you can add under the project, you can add the tasks and assign the people from a resource management perspective to calculate the cost of the person who is assigned to that project. But also you can check if that person from a capacity perspective is available for your project, because you can plan the project, for example, for a next quarter, and you can allocate the person already as a soft allocation. That will give you information that, hey, come on, you will potentially will have a task assigned in the next quarter. And that will give you some kind of confidence that that person will be available for you on the moment of the start of the project.
Oh, so from the, of course, you have to configure every part of what you said, from the financial point of view to the resource management that you have. But when it's configured properly, you can, from the just before starting the project, you can see if the person is available, and what will be the potential cost, for your organization.
Exactly. In the system, you have a full module related with resource management, where you can load the resources, people who will work on the specific tasks.
Yeah.
So these people, when they will fully manage their time in under the ServiceNow, they can plan the for potential vacations, for example. Of course, the hours within they are working normally. And also they will be added to our rate models. It means that they will have a potential rate for this specific person, rule, or group of people.
Yeah.
And when you will add these people to the project and to the resource plan in a specific time, for example, you will plan the effort for 20 hours or more, you will have a clear calculation of the costs. You will have a specific person. You will know if that person is available for you, but also you will know the cost of this person.
And this is out of the box, yeah?
Out of the box.
Wow.
The only thing what you need to do is to prepare the foundation data, of course. You need to load people, you need to add the proper rules and set the proper rates for them. Of course, set the proper, hours within they are working.
Okay. And so we have the resource management, and from the finance perspective, you mentioned many times the cost of the project, and what other features apart from the cost of the particular person I can see within this product module.
In the system, you will have, of course, this labor cost. That will be a person who is working on the project. Also, you can manually add the cost of the hardware, for example, software, everything what is dependent from a project and what you need, for example, to deliver the project. For example, if you need to buy a extremely expensive license or tool set, you can manually add that to the project as a potential cost, and that will be calculated as a costs of the projects. And everything is calculated out of the box. Of course, when the project is started already, you can track the actual hours spent on the project. You can let people to get to a timesheet portal, assign people to specific tasks, and allow them to log the time spent on the project. It means that this task will come back to the project as a form, and there you will find the information how many hours I, for example, potentially spent on this project. That is also calculated straight away with the actual cost of the project. That is, then you can, of course, verify the potential planned cost for the project and also actual cost where you are today.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. And so people who are working on this project, apart from the project management team and so on, but I mean the technicians, the IT department, or people who are building this for example, project tool, application, so on, they have to log the hours. So it means that we have to trust them, or can I somehow control it?
Yes, you have a option to send some to, of course, verify the hours that on the time cards that they are adding within the whole week. So the person when that week of the hours are built on the time cards is submitted by a person, that needs to be verified by the manager of that person or project manager. And a nice feature that we found in the system also is that you can separate that even. So the time spent on the projects can be approved by a project manager, responsible person who is driving the whole project.
Yeah.
And also the hours spent additionally on, for example, administration task for a company or the organization, vacation, or any additional hours, for example, on meetings, checking your Outlook or something, they can be registered in a different way, and they can go directly to your manager. So that is separated from an approval perspective.
Okay, so from the management or team leaders perspective, I have a view on my people, how they work, and I can somehow control it. So I don't end up in a situation when there are too many hours logged within the project that should have cost much less.
Yeah, exactly. And also that from a project perspective, that gives you the information if you plan the project in a proper way. Because if you have, I don't know, more or less hours, and that is a significant difference, you can control that. If people are working, I don't know, they are spending too much time on the project, or the planned tasks were extremely easy and you over planned that. It means that you added much more hours than exactly you need on the project, right? So that can be controlled.
And of course, we are talking about projects, the portfolio management, and so on. And when I'm speaking with every project manager that I was able to talk about, the first thing that the people are saying is risk. And what about the potential risk management? Because many project, you know how it is during the project, that they're not ideal. Somehow we are human, we make mistakes, and sometimes some situation may occur that the deadline will be postponed, something will have to be rescheduled, or we would like to do something earlier than we initially thought. So how can I control the risk within the project?
In ServiceNow on the project form, you also have a possibility to register all of the risks. And you said that we are not ideal, but maybe we should become more proactive as well to register potential risks. And that system allows you to do that. And when you register the one potential risk, and you will transfer that to a RIDAC, and that system will give you the possibility to decide, is it a action, or is it a change request needed? How you will, or that's only a decision to be made? How you should drive this risk to eliminate that, and also that gives you the information about the dates when you can expect the potential fix for that risk or potential action for that risk, so you can manage that as well. And under the projects, you have analytics view on the workbench that give you the one side information where you can find all of this information, and you can manage these risks on daily basis. As a project manager, you would like to know for sure what is going on and how that should be driven, right? So you can react on the daily basis if you need to ask for more resources or reduce something in the project.
And you mentioned mysterious name of RIDAC. For me, and maybe for our listeners out there, it might not be the thing that we are accustomed to. Could you please explain the term RIDAC? And
from RIDAC, you have statements like risks, idea, decision, action, and this request for change. It means that there are separate lists where you can decide, because as I mentioned, the risk is a risk, but from a risk you can have different outcomes. So you can think about that, okay, that is a risk on the infrastructure. So you of course will add a potential change request. But if you think that from a risk, that can bring only a decision which I need to make,
Mm-hmm.
that will go directly to a decision. And that is also interesting, that gives you the ability to drive only specific actions or
Mm-hmm.
specific, the categorization which you are interested for. Maybe decisions are not so important now, but maybe the change requests are called low-hanging fruits, which you can solve in a minute, and
Yeah.
then you will eliminate the risk of the project.
Okay, so if we had to come up with an example, so for example, I'm doing a project and somebody is leaving the company, leaving the project, or just come down with the flu, which was unexpected at that point, and I can register the potential risk of the missing person, and some decisions are to be made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you can register that as a decision only to be made. And from that decision, you have a clear outcome, or maybe the clear solution even
Yeah.
on the allocation workbench on the resource management application, which give you ability to replace that person, for example, if we will follow your example.
Mm-hmm.
It means that in a few steps, you can decide that all of the allocated hours, the planned hours for that person, can be moved to a different resource, of course, available resource.
Mm-hmm.
So even in the system, you have that ability to do it.
Okay. And yeah, when we touched the risks, it might some risk might have a potential cause on the impact on the project. Sorry, in the future, and how ServiceNow platform, how SPM module somehow predicts the future of the particular project. I don't know if you understand me
Mm-hmm.
correctly, but if a risk occur, it might it might be impacting the timeline. It
Mm-hmm.
might be impacting the cost of the project, and how the tool is
That is not
giving me
only,
the notification, or how the changes are in the platform
of
itself.
course, that is a configuration which you need to done and
Okay.
decide if you would like to have receive the notification for that.
Mm-hmm.
But normally, there are a really nice dashboard, analytics dashboard, showing you all of the necessary information that you need to drive your project on a daily basis. There you will find the information about potential risks, spent hours, planned hours, allocated hours, how we are working with these projects, and the costs, the cost plans, if they are too high or too low. You can there you can find also information about the actual hours, the time cards waiting for your approval. You can
Mm-hmm.
decide if you agree with the spent hours
Mm-hmm.
by a person, or you can come back to that person and say that, oh no, I will recall that because something is wrong. I need additional explanation from your side. That is not only a risk management, that is a project management. And from that perspective, you can predict that based on the uh, effort on the time frame,
Mm-hmm.
or allocated hours or additional hours that you need
Yeah.
from the project. So every information you have that under the tasks, for example, about the days planned,
Mm-hmm.
when that should be delivered. Also, you have a various options to use the statuses. You can add the milestones, saying you that, giving you the information that, okay, I reached and I completed these 3 normal tasks. I have a milestone where I need to, I don't know, make a decision. I
Mm-hmm.
need to decide, or I need to set the invoice, for example, for my client, saying
Okay.
that I finished portion of a project.
Mm-hmm.
Now I expect the payment. So
Okay.
you have a lot of options to decide what to do with this project, how that track this project, and how that can influence your future. Of course, when the projects are planned in the proper way,
Mm-hmm.
you have always the information about start date and planned date. When the in a moment when the task changes the status to active, to open,
Mm-hmm.
then you have additional information about actual start date.
Yeah.
So that can be also different. That can influence, of course, the project time frame. You have also the planning console, with which gives you the information about the time cards. Time project tasks
Yeah.
which show you in a moment in time when that should be delivered, what is the plan for the whole life cycle of the project, right?
So you don't have to, from the project manager perspective, you don't have to remember the things because you have the notification that, oh, you have a milestone coming up
Mhm.
in a week. Check the statuses. Yeah, so that's great that you have everything within the tool, so you don't have to check manually the timeline. You get notified about potential risks, about the change of the schedule, and many other important matters when it comes to the project management. And many times you mentioned about proper configuration of the module, proper data that should be imported to the strategic portfolio management. And initially, if we were talking about the amount of workload that has to be put before starting working with the ServiceNow platform, uh, could you please tell us more or less uh, what do you mean by that proper configuration? What should be done before starting working under ServiceNow platform?
At first, you need to have a good process in your organization. Let's start
Yeah.
here because that is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how to have a proper flow of your projects when you assign the people. What kind of people you need as a resources? What are the rates? From a perspective, you have information about the hours or when the project is driven, because all of these calculations at the end from a financial perspective are built on all of decisions which you made on this foundation custom configuration of the system.
Mm-hmm.
You need to, of course, add the information about hours when the project should be driven. If you are working on the projects between Monday to Friday, or
Yeah.
also the weekends, because then the duration of the project is calculated in a different way. So that is worth to have a meeting with a consultant
Mm-hmm.
and decide and to agree how your organization works
Mm-hmm.
now. If you are working only on the projects, if you need, for example, the full implementation of project management, or maybe that is too much for you and you will follow the agile approach,
Yeah.
safe approach, scaled agile framework.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of decision, but I always say that is important to have this constant communication and constant, that replacing the knowledge. What is your process? What is your need?
Mm-hmm.
And based on that information, a good developer will prepare the system for you.
Okay. So that's good to know for the future and for our listeners who might be interested in the SPM. And okay, so we've talked about the potential risk, resource management, the agile approach, the project, the demand management, and I believe some people might say it is obvious this tool has to do it when it comes to the project. So if you could just tell us about the differentiators of ServiceNow strategic portfolio management when it comes to other tools, other platforms out there. Why should companies go for ServiceNow?
You said that is obvious, and that is not.
Okay.
Unfortunately, is that really often we receive some ask, the request to check the client process,
Mm-hmm.
and they think that the ServiceNow and PPM is only a project management. And that is obvious that
Mm-hmm.
we have task, we have a breakdown down structure,
Mm-hmm.
we have the timeline. That is a project management.
Okay.
So that is, the people think that, okay, that is good enough. And in ServiceNow propose that you can follow the resource management, the rates, for example, the hours, the plan, how people works, for example, that possibility to log the time in the system. That is something extra on this stage,
Mm-hmm.
but the calculation about the cost, the expense lines, possibility to add it, track the time, looked at time, and also the really nice feature is this predictive information.
Yeah.
What is next? It is you have two options to calculate the estimate at completion and estimate to completion,
Mm-hmm.
when you can find the information about cost, mainly costs, based on the spent time for by people on the project. That will give you information where you are
Mm-hmm.
now, and if you are following the budget, planned budget, and where potentially you will be at the end if you will not manage the project properly.
Okay. So everything around the project management itself. So it's not just to put it in the simply world. It's not a tool only for managing projects. It's a tool for managing the whole programs and all the necessary things around it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that's great to know, and I'm sincerely apologize for my ignorance in that topic. Okay. So now we ended a project, which hopefully is successful. And what's next? Once the project is deployed, what other activities the strategic portfolio management offers me to do?
And now, for example, there is a option to follow your project's demands on a innovation portal
Mm-hmm.
that gives you information about the budget perspective and the information where you are with your costs of the projects, and the planned cost, for example, and actual costs.
Mm-hmm.
So there, if you have a budget for your the whole year,
Yeah.
you can track the KPIs about the projects, the status, the health of the project, if you are, following the timeline, the potential risk, and so on. So on the investment portal, you can find the information about the budget, comparing to the situation where you are. The
Okay.
budget is planned mainly for a year, or for example, for a different organization. That depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is one side. Other side are a lot of reports available on a out of the box PMO dashboard that give you the holistic view of the portfolio and program management, that gives you the information where you are with the costs, but not only with the cost, about the information, what kind of project, what categories, investment, for example, categories you drive on the projects. That gives you the information also on the due dates on the
Yeah.
specific tasks, or already past the information that you should deliver before and you didn't do it. You have a nice feature about the calendar in here, in there. So in here you can find the information about, for example, upcoming milestones.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not only about open project, but also about the closed projects. So you can analyze the story. You can analyze if that was uh, followed properly and delivered on time,
Okay.
or you can find the more information what you should do better at the next time, right?
And
So
that's a great value to have, that the tool gives you somehow lessons learned from the project. Wow.
yeah, exactly. And of course, I don't want to promote knowledge management in here, but you can, of course, share that information on the knowledge, on the, I don't know, various portals
Mm-hmm.
to share the information where you were, where you are, and what needs to be done next, right? And also, you have a planning workbench. That is a, planning workspace, that's
Okay.
called. And there, that gives you the information to view the whole roadmap, not only for on the project, but also on demands, potential projects. And that gives you the holistic view where you are with the actuals, with a completion of this project, but also where you will be at the end of the year, for example. So you can plan the capacity, you can plan the budget, you can plan the various things, and for example, the infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
for your business, where you would like to be. Of course, that is easier to plan on a, for example, senior management level,
Yeah.
to decide where the organization is and where we will be in
Okay.
a month from now.
Okay. So this dashboard, this planning workspace, as you mentioned, gives the opportunity for the C level to drive or to set the future of your company. Actually, to potentially plan how many experts, how many specialists should I hire to deliver projects that I have in my pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
decide, for example, if you have special skills in your organization now,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you have, I don't know, some specific project, that is extremely
Yeah.
hard to hire a person with that skills.
Mm-hmm.
So you can plan that. You know how hard it is to find a special
Yeah.
now people on the market. So
Okay.
that can be also planned.
Okay. Okay. So we talked about the C level, the complexity of organization, the processes behind the project management within the organization. So in simple words, if you could tell us if you could tell us what companies should look for SPM module in ServiceNow. Is it for everyone? Is this tool for every organization?
Unfortunately, not.
Ah, crap.
you know, I believe that you need to start with a process at first in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
If the process is prepared and you follow this process with a project management, you can start with some simple projects. That is not a tool for an organization who drive one or two projects by year.
Yeah.
That is, that is also, you need to buy a license, special license for that environment, right? The tool gives you a lot of possibilities, and that is for bigger organizations for
Mm-hmm.
sure, but you don't need to manage the resource management and financial management. That depends from the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say that that is only for a big companies, only for huge companies, with a specific process. You need to follow the full project management. That's not correct, because I saw the projects for where we implemented only demand management. We had a situation when we implemented demand with a correlation with a safe, because they said that, okay, the important thing is an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then from idea we would like to build the backlog stories and so on, and we are not interested with a cost perspective. For example, we know that what we have a defined budget for this year. We know that that is within that budget. That's good enough.
Okay.
So the various organizations, but let's start with a process,
Mm-hmm.
and let's start with this, within that organization. We need to remember to have a process which is followed, and then with assigned people to these
Mm-hmm.
projects. That is not a tool to drive the project and manage the projects for a one person.
Okay, so yeah, so companies should do their work,
Homework.
homework
Yes.
exactly before implementing such a complex tool. So definitely, it is not for everyone. You have to have your processes structured within the organizations, and any other factors that my people think of before implementing the tool, the platform, not the tool.
I'm not sure. I don't know. And the best approach is
Mhm.
that with a service now is to organize a meeting with a consultant, or
Yeah.
I don't know, some pre-sales call or something, and discuss, because as I said, maybe you are not you don't need the full professional license and
Mhm.
buy everything
Okay.
at the beginning. Maybe you need only a idea demand, and you will end up in here. That will be good enough. But that is really worth to have some expert onboarded for a moment and consult the situation where your organization is and what are your needs. And that good consultant should give you that information, what is proposed out of the box of the service now.
And by a good consultant, of course, I'm meaning you to propose some changes, to propose some ideas to the customers. So if you have any questions related to SPM, reach out to Aga. Okay, so it's I believe the story for now that we have the SPM story that we presented today. Thank you very much for being here with us today. I hope we'll make another episode about the SPM in the future. Thank you for sharing with us your expertise and experience in this section, for giving us the introduction to the strategic portfolio management module in ServiceNow platform. I'm really thankful for that. But before we say goodbye to our pilots out there, I would like to ask you one last question. This is a question that I ask to all of my guests, which is, what do you like the most about the ServiceNow platform? Because you work within this environment for a long time, and how did you end up with this platform, and what do you like about it?
Oh my, do you have any additional 30 minutes?
Sure, we can manage.
Yeah, I'm a person of processes. I like processes, and I love that ServiceNow follows the processes, and that is extremely easy to adjust ServiceNow to really various processes following the ITIL, for example,
Hmm.
and that is really good for a really different perspectives now and different departments from my the ITSM, where you can support the incidents cases now and knowledge management,
Hmm.
problem management. I really like that solution because when I go to the clients and I discuss the idea of the client, I have a full picture of the system, out of the box system,
Hmm.
that even a person without a specific development experience
Hmm.
can share with the client. And I'm not a developer, but I always have, I need to keep myself, in some kind of restrictions to not tell that we can do this one, this one, this one. I need to, from time to time, I need to hold my horses and say that no, 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 Aga, let's wait to the end,
Yeah.
hear the full picture, then propose.
Okay.
And that is that's give you the service now. It's me in that you have a lot of possibilities. I love that that is a scalable solution. So even if you propose something at the beginning,
Hmm.
that will not close the doors for different approaches in the future. So that is really really nice solution about. And I I don't know
Okay.
what I can say even more.
Save other answers for other episodes, I would say. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for being here today. I hope it was a pleasant experience for you to be a part of this episode, to be a part of this podcast. And to our ServiceNow pilots out there, I would like to thank you for being with us, for listening to this episode. And as always, drop your comments below. It is very important for us to hear your feedback regarding this show, because we would like to make other episodes for you to address your questions related to ServiceNow, of course. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Actually, on YouTube, you can subscribe us. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter. No, sorry, not Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah. See you in the next episode.